horrible advice. Do things just so you can brag about it. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be telling you guys the story of how I was in a movie. But before we get started, I just wanted to let you guys know that I am Sophia Lovelace and I post beauty videos, fashion videos, vlogs, and story times and all of that fun stuff. So if any of that interests you, make sure to hit that red subscribe button down below to be notified when I have new uploads. So I remember a few videos ago I said that I was going to tell you guys the story of how I was in a movie. Plus, I'm gonna be in a movie and I'm so freaking happy. I'll talk about that later on my channel. But I never actually shared the story with you guys. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I'm gonna tell you guys every single detail of how I was in a movie. But just so we're clear, I wasn't a lead or I wasn't even a supporting character in this movie. I was just an extra, and I'm hesitant to use the word just because everyone plays a part in a production and everyone has value. There's no such thing as small roles, there's only small actors. So that's why I'm hesitant to use the word just an extra, but I was just an extra. Which is a really cool experience in itself. I mean, it was my very first movie that I've ever been in. Hopefully not the last movie or the only movie that I'm gonna be in. Hopefully, pray to the movie gods, theater gods, all the gods. Extras are important to a production because if you think about movies like Harry Potter, would Hogwarts be as cool and as magical if only Harry and Ron and Hermione were walking the hallways? I don't think so. So the movie that I was in was an independent film, just a movie that was shot in my area. I mean, it was kind of in my area, but it was about maybe a 45-minute hour drive from where I live, so it was kind of a far drive to get there, but definitely the experience was so worth it. It was an independent film called To Hell with Harvey, and it was directed by these two people, and it was about a aspiring writer who follows around this famous writer who's kind of a jerk around on this book tour. And what I heard the director describe it as, they were learning from each other and they grew as people by the end of the movie. It sounds like a really good idea. I haven't seen the movie yet. I think they're still in the process of editing the film. The scene that I got called in for was the aspiring writer tried to get people to come to this famous writer's book tour or one of his book tour stops, and basically he tricked the audience members into thinking they were in a Hollywood movie, and that's how he got everyone in the audience to come. How I found out about this role as an extra, and just for the record, it wasn't paid, it was volunteer work, which I mean is cool because I know it was an independent film and it was just literally these two people directing this movie, so I didn't mind volunteering my time. I mean, I'm involved in community theater and all that stuff, and sorry, I just had to readjust, but we're down here now. How I heard about this extra position was through Facebook, through a news article that a local newspaper had posted on their website, and I had one person, a family friend, tag me in it. They told me to dress in semi-formal wear, so I just wore a black dress. I arrived at the location that they said that was supposed to be at this art gallery with a small stage and theater in the building. So I just go in there, I check in, they basically ask like, what's your last name, what's your first name? Okay, go in and meet people, mingle. I think that's the word they used. They said go mingle with people. So I was like, okay. You would think as an actor that I would be very extroverted, and I am very extroverted. However, people still make me nervous. What if I say something wrong? What if I say something stupid? What if they like look at me like I'm an idiot? What if I say something that's like not what you're supposed to say, like Macbeth, but like movie version. And even at the time, I was like, why am I nervous? I'm not even saying anything in this movie. I don't know, I think I turned to someone. I probably started the conversation first because I'm like that. Even in audition rooms and stuff like that, when I get nervous, even though people make me nervous, I try to break the ice and talk to people. And sometimes in audition rooms and stuff like that, I meet some really good people, some of my best friends I've met in audition rooms. So I think it's really good. One of my biggest advice for anyone interested in being an extra or just theater, film in general, is just meet people, because you might get a friend out of that. You might get along with a director, or if someone's starting a play, they might be like, hey, I was thinking of you. I turned to one of the people and I said, oh, hi, my name is Sophia, what's your name? Have you ever done something like this before? And it was kind of mixed. Like, some people said, yes, I've been doing this for 10 years, I've been an extra, and then other people have said, no, this is my first movie. And I asked them advice about what they would give, and they basically just said, be yourself and listen to the director. So I'm gonna say the same thing to you. In this scene, all we were doing was clapping and cheering, so I mean, there's not much you can goof up on that, and I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know what I was signing up for. And then the director comes out, or one of the directors, because there was 2 directors. One of the directors comes out, and he just said, explain to us the rules. He said, okay, so we're gonna file you guys into the theater. We're gonna get a shot of you guys walking into the theater. Make sure that you do not sit in these chairs that have these markers on them, and do not look directly in the camera. When the director was giving us directions of what he wanted us to do, I saw, because he was standing in the door to the theater, and we were standing on this side and he was standing in the door, and then I saw in the background my old he wasn't my teacher ever, but he was the art teacher at my high school, and he often volunteered to do our theater productions. Like, he wasn't a director, but whenever it was like show day or showtime or something like that, he would always offer to drive our props there. And of course, I just thought that was so cool. I wasn't surprised. I mean, I was kind of surprised because, you know, always running into friends at auditions and theater things is always really fun. So I wasn't too surprised that he was there. I wish I had said hi to him when we were walking in, but there was no opportunity to, because they were filming us coming in and that would have ruined the shot. We were in that theater for around 3 hours for, this scene probably would have taken like a minute in the movie, because it wasn't that much dialogue, because they took so many different shots at so many different angles. One on one side, one on the other side, one directly in front, one directly behind, and then they got this shot where they were like going around the person as they were giving their speech, and then kind of like cuts of the audience being like, this is really awkward, because us, the audience members, were thinking that we were going to be in a movie. I mean, we were in a movie, but like our characters weren't in a movie, if that makes sense. The last part was getting my art teacher and getting his dramatic slow clap at the end that cues us to start clapping. So it really wasn't that complicated of instructions to understand. I found it quite easy. I mean, after a while I started to get tired. My hands started to get tired because we were there for 3 hours. But I've heard stories about extras who have had to been there for like 8 hours walking along the same street or something like that. So it could have been worse. And it was a really cool experience. I mean, we did have a break for a little bit, for like 15 minutes, which was okay, and really, like, I really appreciated that. But one thing I found super interesting about filming this movie was how similar it was to theater. It was like watching a dramatic like Shakespeare play or something like that. I'm a theater actor and I love getting involved in community theater. I thought, because most of my training that I've done and classes that I've done have been focused more on theater, that I could never go into film, because that's kind of the attitude we have in North America. It's really nice to go because it kind of just demystifies the whole process. Theater acting and film acting, yeah, they're a little bit different, but not that much. I feel like people who said like, oh, film acting and theater acting are very, very different from each other, are kind of thinking of the stereotype of theater actors. However, theater acting isn't just musicals and comedy. There is some plays out there, not some, lots of plays out there that are very serious, that require that kind of serious tone acting to portray a story, because theater is such a wide genre of art that it's not just musical theater. Some musicals, which are like SpongeBob the Musical, which are purely for entertainment and profit purposes. But then there's also other plays that you have, like The Crucible by Arthur Miller. Not necessarily what people think of when they hear theater. It's definitely a huge part of theater. So it's just great to go and learn that don't trust everything you see on the internet. I highly, highly recommend, if you have an opportunity to be an extra in a movie, do it. You will learn so much. It'll be an amazing experience, and even if it's not, you can have bragging rights. I give horrible advice. Do things just so you can brag about it. Anyways, I am Sophia Lovelace. I post beauty videos, fashion videos, vlogs, and story times. Go watch some of my other videos floating around somewhere. You can go give those a watch, give them a like, and bye. What if I say something wrong? What if I say something stupid? What if they like look at me like I'm an idiot? What if I say something that's like not what you're supposed to say, like Macbeth, but like movie version?